All right, this is ALK coming to you live. I just got a little something to play for you tonight. Just to know that if you just smile from Kurt Franklin is a gospel song. But after that, I got one to play that by Nat King Cole, which I believe that you enjoy. When trouble get heavy and don't know which way to turn, I'm gonna be the DJ ALK as a DJ tonight just to show you that I was thinking about the citizen of the United States. But here we go with Kurt, and then we'll go back with Nat King Cole, which is a slow version of one of the famous songs. But we just gonna play Here Come Kurt. It's a new day. Even though we might be in some blue sky, but today is a new day. Right, just smile. Next is gonna be by Nat King Cole. Let's see, can I find it? We're just having a little fun. Just let you know when it get too rough and you don't know what else to do. Just smile. Sometimes you have to smile your way through it, especially with this administration and what's going on in this government. Let's see, can I find it? It's an super old version. We went way back. Let's see, can I get it without the commercial now?
When it's time to add my son to our car insurance, I was scared to even think about my wallet.
Here we go. I know the new generation don't know nothing about this. Maybe to catch the eye of some of the people that in the late 1900. Even smile even though it's raining.
There, that's the time for us to keep on trying. Smile, what's the use of crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. That's the time you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use of crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile.
All right, that's the end of that one. I hope you like that. That was a little DJ for the night, just to get as those that watch this video and might be down and don't know which way to turn. It's saying just smile, even though that tears are coming, you just smile, which is, if you think about it, it's hard to do, but you still can smile. But then they say when fear and sadness come over you, you just smile. So now we have a sort of avenue of when this administration that get us all tore up and we don't know which way to go and don't know what to say or how to say it. We just smile. Even when they fight against us, just smile. But tonight I just wanted to play them two songs, the two versions of it. And I don't know about you, I enjoyed it. I hope it lift you up, whoever watched that video. But tonight I have one topic and just look at given an opportunity, and I looked at who all is ISIS are running for president. It's a whole list. But I always say look down the line and see all the candidates. I know I'm saying that I'm trying to win, but it's good to look at the other candidate just looking at one because we could look at finance, we could look at people that are making a show, but yet we can look at their history or what they did for the country and most of what they doing for their state. We can all pass policy, we can all do things when we trying to look good. But then if it wasn't done how it was done, it's fair game. You could do things just to get ahead or make people look at you and say, this is what I did. I made this, I did this, look at me. But I think that this this is the years. I say years because it's 20, 26, 27, and then 28 we have the primary, then we have the general election. By that time, you should look at most of all the candidates. I say at least the top 20. It's just like football. You see the top 20. It's very important because someone in the top 20 can win. And I say that because it opened the door for you to get a better picture on choosing. Because if you look at the first five candidates and check them out, whether it be Republican, Democratic, but mostly on the Democratic side because we throw push the Republicans out because they're in a bad place because MAGA has totally took over them. If you can find a good Republican to try to run for president or former Republican or anything, but it's still gonna make the party look bad because the Republican party as it was is no more. It's basically MAGA. So now you got MAGA. Anybody that the MAGA supporting it ain't right. They not good for the country. You know, they agenda, their policy is good for just a city or a, a company something like that because it have that much of effect. But we're just not putting city down that they can be misused. But I'm saying that because MAGA is totally the opposite of which way the country want to go. We can look at fair rights. We can look at civil rights. We can look at being just. It will never be just because they try to force things upon the individual, and that's not the United States. The United States is liberty, for all. So we shouldn't be forced. I know we have policy to protect the uh the minority. That's good, but we shouldn't look at just having one law to fit everybody because it would never fit everybody because everybody different. So we can't really have just one basic law. We got to support the whole United States as citizen. So we have to do that. But tonight, like I say, I came on just to talk about that, about being running for president and being the candidate. And I looked at all of them when I first started. I looked at all of them. I said, "Man, this field is full." And most of the people probably just running to get money from people, and they know they probably never win, but they trying to just get money. But my goal is to win. I'm not trying to get money. I'm trying to be in that top 20. It's just like right now, it's starting out. They always predict that number one person, number two, number three, number four, number five, and so on. At least it be the top 10 they mostly focus on. So I'm trying to get to that point that they get recognized and do things. Like I've been sending letters. If you have my letter and try to figure out who is this guy, this is nobody. Yes, to you, I probably be a nobody, but I'm very familiar with the United States because when you're in the military, you fumble around with all the policy, you fumble around with all foreign policy, you pretty much know all the things that taking place, even for sometimes it happen. So you're familiar with both sides, being a military person, being a civilian, also dealing with politics. And most people don't understand, yes, we are there to serve the Constitution, but we have to understand the Constitution is something other that you have to learn. And that's what we defend. So we pretty much familiar with the Constitution, what we can and cannot do. But we have to focus on what is better. During my president, during my run, I probably wouldn't comment on anything. I probably won't slay nobody. I try to run a fair campaign. To me, what I say in my history, and I know that I ain't been in politics alone, but I started in 2022 when I first got out the military. I tried government, ran for governor of Alabama, but I understood that outcome. If you watch one of the video and I talk about it, but it's something that I understood. 2 months in, 2 months before the primary, I jumped in and I saw what I can and could not do. I ran a good race to my standards, but I understood that me just jump in the loop and 2 months, having prepared. I know it was late. More people say, "Oh man, you tried." But the one thing I wanted to do, I wanted to see if people would accept me as being a jump in and don't know me, but yet they figured out who I was, and I got some votes. Surprisingly, I got 15,000 some votes. But that told me if I could have started 2 years from that day, I think the outcome would have been a whole lot different. But after saying all that, it's just like sticking in the run for president. I'm starting early now. I'm getting my letters out. Hopefully, I'm gonna start going around meet and greet. Try to my best to get every at least try to get every state before the for 2028. I got a long time. I got plenty time, but you know that time a jump sharp ship and you'll find yourself lost. But I hope I got a good ship and when the water is dangling and pushing the boat left and right. But I hope I can still stay in and hold on to the end, and come out on top. But my goal is focus on the citizen because I believe that they deserve it. I believe minimum wage should be increased as I did in the government run. It should not have stayed 776. I believe that's what it is for this long. It's been at least 30 years that minimum wage have stayed the same, probably longer than that. You know, when I was running for governor, it was like 25. I think I counted 25 plus, but it should never have been that long. And I'm gonna make sure that minimum wage goes up. And then as minimum rate go up, for the small business that is not making that much money, we have to invest in them so they can keep up with the minimum wage. We're not trying to, I'm not trying to throw anyone into bankruptcy. So we'll look at the small business that, hey, might can afford $20 an hour, but we'll start some type of policy that they'll get so much to help them. But in order to help them, they have to do right with the money, and we have a team dealing with all of that, watching over them, seeing what they're doing, the money, how they invest in, how they can build a business, expand. So that's the main thing. Is my goal is to not create. And most people say, well, you got to create business. But in order to create business, you got to get those small business that exist to a point that they can stand on their own. When you looking at raising minimum wage, you got to get them to expand and increase their revenue. So if we do that, we won't put them in a spot that they have to file bankruptcy. So that's one of my key things. Healthcare. I'm focusing on healthcare. I think I got a plan that will fit the United States. I think I got a good idea how to fix healthcare. Not trying to get rid of Obamacare. We're just gonna build it off of Obamacare. It's a shame that when you try to destroy something that it exists instead of improving it. And that's what the main thing learned in the military. You don't destroy what you have built, you build off of it. Every time we put a team together, we build off that team. If we find a person that will weak, we put him in a position that he can handle and what he can do with his expertise. So that build a team. It's not just one person doing everything. Now, some people in that squad will be able to do everything, but those that can't do everything, you put them in that position and you build off the team because you're building a team. You're not building individual. So that's what we at the United States have to do. Even when we dealing with healthcare, we understand that the cost of healthcare going up. I got the plan that will solve that problem, but yet won't damage healthcare people that have business in healthcare, but it'll take some of the load off the people, but yet let the business still exist. But I have a plan. I'm gonna put it finalize and put it together as I get closer to 2028. But I'm not taking away from Obamacare. I'm just gonna build off that and put some policy within. But my goal is not to have a 250,000 page, of a bill passed. We can simplify. We got to have that 250,000 bill. We simplify the healthcare and make it easy, make it simple, because most people, older people, can't really read. They don't want to read, and some people just don't. Young kids don't want to read, but if you simplify it, compact it, but they can understand it, then I think they will understand why this healthcare exists, why Obamacare existed. So we just have to build off that and take care of the citizen. You know, hospital care that should go down. We're gonna work with all the private hospital, all the funded hospital. So hey, we got to look at the cost. What do it cost to make this item, and why you charging $500 for something that you only make for $20? We have to come to a midway point, and we're gonna look at all of that. And I believe that put a team that the person that you know, put over the health department, they gonna deal with all that. But I'm gonna let them know what we looking for and how we gonna run it. And after that, it pretty much them running way it should be. Now I know the one that Robert Kennedy over now, which is crazy. Vaccine are good. I say that because you know, I experienced vaccine. I've never had any type of effect, and then when you did, it wasn't unto death. Yes, some people might be allergic to some of them, but then it's also something, another vaccine that they can take or deal with. But we're gonna deal with that. We don't think that kids should suffer because adults feel something different. And that's something that we shouldn't do. It's their decision. If you don't want to take the vaccine, but let the kid take it, and then when that kid able enough to say, no, I don't want to take it, that's fine. But as of being kids, and I know the parents should have all authority over kid, but when it's a health crisis that it should be, just like the measles breakout, it shouldn't be that. You know, a measles breakout, we have too much technology for this to go on. And then they say, you know, if you get it, you're immune to it. But then if you don't survive it, that's the key. Because this generation and generations coming up might not be like the super generation that they live through most sickness, they live through a lot of things. But this generation is not like this. They are disease carrying, either be infected, either to die. If they catch something that's terrible, their body don't fight against it. Their immune system fight against them. So we have to look at all that. But that's with my healthcare. And another one I deal with not trying to, as its present administration control DOJ. I believe that it should be an organization that is not controlled by either Congress or the president or the Supreme Court. So I will look into that we can make policies saying that the president have no dealing or nothing to do with DOJ or the FBI, all of that, them organization. But we're gonna look into all of that passing policy that makes sense. And then for the attorney general judges, we would have to me, I would have to look at investigate all judges because if we don't put the right judges on the courts, we have a mess. And that's where we at now. Makes sense when you approve or say this is okay. Makes sense when you say the president has immunity, but yet when a person is as crazy as the president that we have, you can't say that because they do stuff and knowing that all that they do, they're gonna get away with it. But it shouldn't be that way. If you break the law, you should be accountable for breaking the law. Just like they stop. the reports going up when the president was on trial and they wanted to release the report now, but now they are blocking it. Then they, in a sense, I don't know how true it is, but it just from second opinion or second news. I haven't identified and did an investigation myself, but it seems like they blocked it and it can never be delivered publicly. But like I say, if we got to hold people accountable for, we just can't let things slide and let people do whatever they want. Even me myself, if I go do something wrong, it's breaking the law. I deserve the punishment, but we'll look into that. And the foreign policy, I understand that the foreign policy of making peace with nations, trying to pull us as nation to be more friendly than being enemy towards each other. And I believe that if we put a team together, my administration put a team together, let them work with the countries that supposed to be our ally first, deal with them, try to draw their trust back. But then we have to make a decision and know that, hey, this administration have damaged our ally. They have turned their hearts away from us and they trying to stand on their own. But we must also gain their trust again and tell them, hey, you do the same thing that you're doing now, even with me, if I become president, do the same thing. But yet let it be known that I am your ally in trying to deal with different things. And helping people and solving problems is the biggest thing. So looking at all of that and trying to deal with all of that, my focus is with that, getting the allies back and dealing with the UN as well. We have to make a decision with the UN because the UN for to be, I say, international protecting s- countries, nations. When you sit by and you watch things and you don't step in other words, us to be in the United States should not to step in on everything. The UN is there for a reason. If we cannot make the decision on the UN and make those votes and then don't step by our vote, we don't need it. And I'm be honest, just like NATO, if we stand by NATO, which is needed because we cannot fight alone anymore because too much technology out there. So if NATO is there, we have to stand by our promises. We have to stand by our policy for NATO. We have to do that. And no country should be justified that they shouldn't join or can't join if they would like to, not being in the present in a war. I understand that. But after there's no war going on in their country, they like to join. It shouldn't be no issue. It should be an open door. As long as they dealing with democracy, they ain't no communism, they ain't no brutal leader. Yes, they should be accepted. You know, because that should be the rule of NATO. But in the foreign policy, that's my belief, and that's what I strongly believe in. We stand strong together. Separate, we'll fall. That's when that saying comes true. Divided, together we stand. Divided, we'll fall. So we got to stay together. We got to hold fast to the confidence that we have because yes, I know the United States Army is good. I know the Navy is good. I know Air Force is good. I know Marine is good because I train with them. I deployed with them, so I know. But we still have to have support with with other countries. So that tape, I'm just looking forward for this run and trying to get the people to believe me, the citizens to believe. Again, that can be a good leader come through, and they ain't got to wonder, you know, stay up all night trying to figure out what's gonna happen tomorrow. Like this present administration as president, we got to stay focused. So like the song that I play, "Smile," you know, put a smile on your face. Don't hate too much that you lose the smile. Everybody should smile, other than New York, but that's a joke though. They said New York brutal. They just grouchy up there, but you know, as long as you be grouchy and do it with a smile. That's why I played them two songs. But that wasn't just a quick shout out for the citizen of the United States that all that will watch this video and know that just smile. But you know, that's all I have for tonight. And I hope I'll be here next Monday. Like I always say, I leave the door open that if I jump online between the week, you know, and just set something, if it ain't nothing but a 15-minute video. But if I find a topic, I see something on news or something going on in the news that is worthy to be talked about, but I jump on. But as we know, everything that will going on, thank to the Supreme Court, they woke up a little bit. I don't know why, but the terrorist is done with. But you know, our president got to figure a way to do something, just in his mindset. But you know, I hope that everybody that get a little piece of the pie that you know with the terrorist issue. But me, this is me on getting a refund for the turd. I wouldn't give no refund. I just put it towards the debt. And I think that our citizens will agree on that. Put it towards getting the debt down, but not right now, but because this present administration is eating it up. They spend more money than a little bit. And that's something other that me, I will hold each and every one of them accountable for when we look at the budget, put a finance team together, look at the budget, see what was spent during this past administration, count all the money that where it came from, where it went to. If we feel like it went to the wrong place, it went to buddies, friends, family, we coming after that money. That's me. I am coming after that money because it shall never be that family member get a big chunk of the United States revenue or profit. It shouldn't be. Companies that is a part of family that people know each other shouldn't be getting no big chunk of government business. None of that government funds, grants, shouldn't that I am going against all of that. I will pull nails and pull teeth trying to get the money back for the United States because if nobody fight for it, the debt will still go up. It will keep going up and keep going up. We got to get that down. But when we get it down, we can't cut it so much that the government doesn't run. But we can find a way to get that down. Once I see what that price is, which I know within 4 years, we know get it down at a great amount. But at least it'll be an effort. And then the next president come around me, keep working it down. And hopefully when the generation that's supposed to take the lead won't be in such a bind. And I hate when they use that when they politic and I call it when they say they spending money, renting the debt up, they against the debt, they'll especially Republican. I hate to say it about Republican. They used to hate to add money to the debt, but now they sit back, look like right on the white horse, like ain't nothing going on. But that's them. They'll figure it out sooner or later. But it's just hard to see when they have all power or have power enough to stop that what's going on. But that's pretty much tonight. I'm not gonna go rambling about Republican. I see a lot of that, here and there when I watch the news here and there. But that'll be all for tonight. I'm gonna get on off and